job, you made it. So happy you could join us. In this vast journey we call life, there's a lot to talk about. So on our podcasts, you can expect to hear anything from sports, adventures, love stories, all the way to outer space. Enjoy. Hey guys, welcome to the 5th episode of Jack&G's podcast. I'm Giorgio, this is Jack. Jack, who have we got on the show today?
We got Yani, who we used to obviously know each other through hashtag. Big atmosphere at the club whenever you was around.
Come on.
Yeah.
Hello, boys. Pleasure to be here on the show.
Nice one for coming. Thank
Thanks
you
for
as
coming,
always. What I wanted to start off with, just real basic, just tell us a little bit about yourself. Anyone who doesn't know you.
Yeah. Well, I am a man of the world.
Shall I say?
I'm just a presenter, an online video creator, just a personality out in these streets. I've been making a scene for a long time now and will continue to do so. But yeah, by trade, I am a presenter on the face of it and a host.
Nice.
Perfect. No,
There you go.
That's obviously how we knew each other.
Yeah. So I was working at Hashtag United, the football club, just creating like video content and whatnot. And I've been doing that for a few years. I came back to the club and started doing a little bit more work there after a year or so away. And then met Jack. He was, do you know what I mean?
I was your cabbie for
He
the
was
beginning.
Jack was giving me a lift to training. This man in between the sticks, absolute cat, man, big time. Yeah, good keeper.
Nice. Thank you.
But that's where we met. We just met. You know, Jack saw me doing my thing, kind of just. I would just run around training, just taking videos, wasn't I?
Yeah, but the atmosphere when you was about, it was different. Training when there wasn't, or even if there was a camera there, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Like, when they have the whole crew set up and everything on a match day, it's serious. But when you was there, it was fun. It was like proper energetic.
Like good energy
Yeah.
for the team, yeah.
You even brought up, who was it?
That's what I reckoned.
Well, apparently there's sort
What's that? We've never had that before.
Siri trying to get
What
active.
happens when you get an Apple Mac and Siri thinks
That's
she is
so
her name.
jokes.
But
What you said?
yeah, so obviously they have the setup on the match day and everything, and it's all serious and everything. But you got people together with, you done shooting drills with who was left back? What was his name? Left back who went out injured, just come back into the squad, now playing centre mid.
Gleedy.
Gleedy, that's it. He done.
Captain.
Yeah, well, that'd have been nice and easy to say, wouldn't it? I was only there for a flipping while, wasn't I?
So I was
Bloody
thinking
hell.
left back. I was thinking someone like skinny left back, and
No,
Gleedy not
that's
skinny.
Ben Brooks, who's just been.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, I played with him at college.
There you go.
He's a
Good player.
baller,
Good.
absolute baller, mate.
Good to hear.
Yeah, literally the only thing missing from his game was just his physical, but he looks like he's picked it up.
Nice.
He looks like he's a
Happens.
proper-
You grow a little
Yeah.
bit. You grow
Yeah.
into your body.
Oh, that's the
That's
thing.
it,
He
yeah.
was like two years below me, and then when I was, his technical ability was ridiculous,
Mm.
like absolutely ridiculous, and he just was missing that last little bit. We went on numerous trials together. And
Really?
yeah, he was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I remember one time we went on trial when we was at with Palace. We played against Southend, and we had a player there called Benos, who got scouted. He was
Fine.
he was all over the gaff that day. He never played like it before, and then when it was trial day, he was like everywhere. But Ben played brilliant that day, and apparently the only reason they didn't take him on is because he wasn't ready. Like, I think physically maybe, but now I could see him going off playing
think
pro.
so?
I really could see
Yeah.
him playing pro.
Maybe
I really
so.
could. But back onto you, obviously. I'm going to do this a million times, mate. I apologise. But
I want to hear about Brent Brooks, mate. The tangents, mate. There's nothing quite
All
like
over the
him.
place.
yeah. But yeah, obviously, I want to talk about what got you started into it, because it's very rare you see someone who's as enthusiastic and as driven towards being a presenter,
Yeah.
being the man behind the camera, instead man in front of the camera instead of man behind the camera. I mean,
Yeah, man.
yeah. What got you started on that?
Mate, I very much have started behind the camera. Like, do you know what I mean? I wasn't
So you was a cameraman.
thrust into it. Well, effectively, you know, I started the journey into sports when I was 17 years old or 16, and I just started working at Wembley, and I was just selling tickets.
Cool.
And so I carried on selling tickets, and that was in the box office. And when you're in the box office, you know, you're wearing a shirt and trousers, and you're kind of in within like the office staff, but you're only getting paid like £7 an hour, it's whatever in it.
You're
It's
seeing
Yeah.
that way of
0 hour
life,
contract.
but you're
Yeah,
outside, yeah.
just on match days I'd be working selling
Yeah.
tickets. Like, so you're kind of like employed by the FA
Okay, yeah.
at that point, you know. So I kind of just used that as a bit of a step, gassed myself up, and just carried on working selling tickets.
Yeah.
And then ended up getting offered a little bit of work to go into the offices,
Nice.
and then
Hustling your way up.
just
working
hustling
your
my way
yeah.
up. I was just part of the customer service team for like 2 years, and
That must have been fun.
bit funny. Like, think about people. Anyone that wants to call the FA, they'll coming through to me. Anyone that wants to buy like tickets for an England game or something, they were coming through to my dumb ass. I was sitting there chatting to all kinds of Barrys, Lisas, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Gurgits, like all of it. Like, so I got a great exposure to
People.
the top level of football,
Yeah,
a crazy range of people, you know, working practices, everything. You know, that job involved me talking to so many different people in so many different departments.
Yeah.
And getting an understanding of, you know, just more than even just my siloed work.
Yeah.
Much more than someone in like marketing or whatever who just like sticks to their ish.
Yeah.
Has the same meetings with the same people. I was doing all kinds of nonsense. Running around the stadium, like...
Yeah, but that's nice though. You want a little bit of diversity when
great.
you're working.
Was great. And like, and at the time the customer service team, and still do, the customer service team at Wembley run the social channels.
Oh, right.
So I kind of, alongside doing the phone calls and the nitty gritty work and answering like the emails,
Yeah.
I would get to do a little bit of content and flex myself a
Nice.
little bit. And I was the
Nice.
youngster on the team, obviously. Like, so
Yeah.
got to do a little bit here and there. And then I basically just took that and was like, okay, I'm just going to slowly just transition into someone that just does content all the time. Like, I don't need to be picking up phones. Like, I've done my time with Lisa and that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
found
need
your
to.
passion in a way.
I did find my passion. I was like, oh, you mean I can create like good content and like get paid for it? I was
Yeah.
like,
Have a laugh.
let me do that.
Yeah.
There you go. So I just started doing that, you know, and
Yeah.
I would be at every event at Wembley Stadium, like every single one,
Yeah.
without fail. And if I wasn't working it, then I'd have tickets to it.
Yeah.
So it was, you know, a pretty crazy time. Just a place I feel very comfy, Wembley Stadium, running around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
mate.
a bad place to feel comfy at, man.
It's decent. No, it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
And that's just where I started my journey, man. And then obviously ended up going to hashtag after that and continuing the social stuff. I first put myself in front of camera on the Wembley Stadium channels for the Wembley Cup. Do we know what the Wembley Cup is? It's like a big, you know,
Yeah.
it's got all the YouTubers and stuff playing in it, right?
Yeah.
And they had 34,000 that year. Hashtag playing it, of course.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah.
it was
Is
actually
it's
crazy when I think about it.
YouTube All Stars or something
It was
like
like hashtag versus
Yeah.
Techers FC or whatever.
That's
Techers
it,
FC
yeah.
had like Gerard and Ish, and it was all like whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What what an explanation that is. But point being, I was working in the Wembley channels, and nobody on my team wanted to work that event really, because they were like whatever about these YouTube whatevers.
Didn't see
And-
what it was going to be.
And
saw the
even then,
opportunity, like-
I wasn't even really like into hashtag or anything like
Yeah.
that. But I saw the
Yeah.
opportunity.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
I was like, what? Like, nobody really cares about this event. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
actually, it's going to be really big on the numbers.
Oh,
Yeah.
massively.
Precisely, of course it is. It's social
Yeah.
media. It's a social
Yeah.
media football
As
team.
much as this, well, back then it was, for what I saw with hashtag, it was a bit of a younger players thing. It still is a little bit now, but they're kind of the players that, or the people that grew up watching the players, who were like 12, 13, 14, are now,
And now,
16, 17, 18.
Yeah.
yeah,
And the atmosphere, when you get the right match day, the atmosphere can be pretty decent.
yeah.
And obviously, they're all watching at home. They probably paid the subscription. They're seeing big faces in front of this camera, and obviously,
Correct.
if you're there,
yeah,
bloody brilliant. Like,
that's it.
Mm.
That's exactly it. And so, when I was doing the Wembley stuff, mate, honestly, I did not know anything about hashtag really. And so it was just like, oh, these random guys are winning 6-1. Right?
yeah.
Like, hashtag had a field day that day.
Oh,
Like, and
yeah.
all the guys that I went on to know really, really well
Yeah.
were just there having a field day, obviously. And it was like one of the biggest days of their lives.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, oh, cool, I've done this hashtag event. I put loads of videos out of me interviewing people, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I didn't really tell anyone I was going to do that actually on the Wembley channels, but
done it.
I was the first
Yeah.
one to just like
What
put
an
myself
amazing
in front of
opportunity.
Seizing
camera.
an opportunity, isn't it?
Yeah.
I kind of just took it, mate, and I was just like chatting to YouTubers and
Yeah.
like, do you know what I mean? Because it was an event where it's not a pro event, guys, you know. So I was running around really,
Yeah.
and they're on my turf. So I was running around comfier than anyone
exactly.
could.
And
You know, no one was going to tell me off for speaking some YouTube, but I don't protect them like footballers. Don't give a toss. I don't care about you, man. So that was the first time I put myself in front of the camera, and that was the day where I went, oh, okay, yeah, no, I'm going to do that.
Yeah, that was brilliant, man. I mean, and it just took off from there, really, because
slowly. From there, I did that.
How long ago was that?
That was 2018.
Cool.
Oh, right, okay.
So like nearly 4 years ago. Well, 4 years ago, depending on the.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. 2018. It would have been October.
Okay, like 3 and a bit years.
Yeah. But still, that's like
flies by.
for what you did. Though.
Did it hit you? Like,
the
time was just.
I turned 25 yesterday, boys. Like, it's just all a bit hectic. Like it's just all a bit.
Still recovering and all that.
It's just mad. What am I going to do at 25? I'm not a prodigy anymore. I used to call myself the Neymar at the FA because I was 18. I was really the only 18-year-old, pretty much. Do you know what I mean? In the building.
Yeah.
Like that was contracted like that, and I was running around like, obviously I've got guys, you know, kind of on my level or whatever that are like 30, and they're still smashing it because they're working for the FA or whatever.
Yeah.
But I was like, you're 30, big man. I'm 18. Like, we're playing the Champions League, but like, I'm basically Neymar. Like, I'm the Neymar of the FA, mate. Like, you're like, do you know what I mean? You're like Everton Rooney.
Everton Rooney.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's that. I was just a kid running around Wembley, and then I kind of just kicked down some doors.
That's what you got to do, mate.
I had some fun, loads of fun.
Yeah.
Oh my days, massive dosser. All I had to do was answer phone calls, which is almost like labour in itself, where it's, you know, it's not a job in marketing or whatever where I have to come up with some incredible PowerPoint presentations and some great data analysis. It's menial work. So that kind of freed me up to be more of a dosser. Do some emails, whatever, hand out some free tickets when things go wrong.
Yes, sweet, mate. Sounds cushy, to be fair. And then obviously that got you into working with hashtag, and you've done stuff in doing commentating for other sports as well.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I love my sports, man. Like hashtag gave me the platform to build a bit of an audience. Obviously, I went to hashtag, started doing some camera stuff. Some people started recognizing me.
Yep.
And so I was like, okay, I'm going to use this. At the time, I was the man behind the camera, you know, with hashtag, the social media guy that no one really knew. But at the same time, I was the lead presenter for Sky Sports basketball, NBA.
Sick.
And so, you know, that's when I started feeling a bit Rafinha at Leeds, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I could keep tweeting, but you know, I started doing the Sky stuff, and I was like, it's just, you know, the tweeting's not tickling me no more.
Nah.
So that's it. I started doing my basketball and my American football, which were both sports that I've had a deep connection with since early.
Yeah.
And so that's been a pleasure to do.
Oh,
That's
brilliant.
amazing. Yeah.
Basketball and American football, niche.
Yeah.
Big sports though.
Oh, mate, and they're only going to get bigger over in the UK. I mean,
Hope so. Yeah, I'm going to try to drive that, you know.
Yeah, 100%.
You'll be a part of it.
That's it, mate. That's it. Just going to try to be at the forefront.
Yeah, and then obviously you've stepped away from hashtag now. So what is a life looking like for you at the moment?
Mate, it's hard. Bro, it's hard. Hella hard.
Working, grafting,
mate. Like, I'm still trying to do the superstar thing, but I don't have a trim, and I'm getting picked up at 6 a.m. tomorrow for work to work on a roof. So
but this is the grind that people don't see behind it.
It's a clue.
I
got messages on my birthday, Yani, so glad to see you're doing well, this and that, this and that, this and that. But the truth of the matter is that this is, do you know what I mean, probably the worst period.
Yeah,
for the
you
last
have the
4
peaks
years.
and troughs.
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, and this is some things that I would love to get across. Is it's not always keep progressing. It's sometimes you have to take that, right, okay, let's wait for the next thing to come in. Let's wait on something to work on in the background. I mean, before this even comes out, this is going to be 5 episodes deep before we even post our first one. Yeah. People just see the first episode come out and go, oh, brilliant. They just slapped some recordings together and chatted to a few people and they've created a podcast. behind the scenes, there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind
like
it.
day jobs. Like we're living our
Trying to fit
lives.
everything in.
Yeah.
That's
like
it,
us
man.
two
You're
liaising
not
with each
always
other.
flying up either.
No,
Sometimes you've got to fly down a little bit and come back up
100%.
again, and ride the wave a little bit.
100%. But one of the topics I want to talk about with you today is just confidence, because when did I last meet up with you? Helped you with the
Help me with a
yeah,
go on.
Go on.
I'll leave it with you.
So basically, yeah, my card is in Gravesend,
Okay.
my bank card, and oh damn,
It sounds
bank
like
card-
it sounds a bit booky, man.
no, it's just silly, innit? It's
It
just
is.
really
It
silly.
is.
My bank card's in Gravesend,
Yeah.
and I don't care for that really. So I've been living life without the card. I haven't needed
Why
cash.
is it in Gravesend?
That's where my mum lives.
Okay, all right.
Shout out Gravesend.
Love
So,
that.
my bank card's there, and I don't think anything of it. I'm going back to Gravesend tonight, actually, so I will be getting that.
Sweet.
But point being, I needed to get cash out because the florist round the corner was only taking cash.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And I, for Valentine's Day, didn't get the girl that I'm seeing flowers.
Oof.
These are the troughs that people don't know about.
Yeah.
Bro,
Behind
I
the scenes.
fam. Like, I invited her around mine on Valentine's Day. Like, I cooked a nice meal or whatever. And I was just like, yeah, cool, that's sweet. Just another day or whatever. Just what? Oh my days. So then we went out for lunch on a Monday or whatever. She was just a little bit like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was really expecting some flowers or whatever.
Oh.
She said she'd never got flowers from a geezer.
Oh, she gave you the guilt trip.
Fam,
Yeah.
fam. She said she'd never got flowers from a geezer, and her sister said, her sister was like, yeah, but obviously Yanni's gonna get you some. Do you know what I mean? We've been seeing each other for like 4 months or whatever.
Oh, so the sister dropped you in it as well.
I don't even know about that bit either.
Bro,
All I
Yeah.
got, I'm literally just putting my backpack on from the gym, and I get a call from him. I'm like, I ain't spoke to him in a while. You all right, mate? How you doing? He's like, where are you? And I was like, I'm in the gym. I was expecting him to go, I thought I saw you. I'm outside
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something like that. And he goes, you ain't got a card on you or anything, have you? I was like, yeah, why? And he was like, could you draw me out some money, like, and bring it over to me?
It's like
Yeah.
life or death.
Yeah, and I was like,
I was like, I've got a really strange request. The exact words, I've got a really strange request. Anyway, he withdrew £30 for me. Obviously, I transferred it to him. He withdrew £30.
Yeah.
I got the flowers. Bang, good books.
yeah, and
There
then
you go.
then we obviously met up, but I didn't even know all of this was sort of going on in the background. Obviously, you said you've taken a step aside from hashtag. I knew that sort of previous and everything, but your confidence was like sky high still. You're still the same old Yardie who I took in the car and had all this stuff like with hashtag and everything.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have noticed it, and you've always got a smile on his face, like always.
Yeah.
There's not a point where I've seen this geezer angry, like ever. Like
Sometimes, but
Yeah.
not
I've
often.
never seen it. The closest I got to it was when the firework went off and almost hit Matas.
No, I watched that. I
Yeah,
watched that. Yeah.
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 That's
That
like the
w-
one thing I saw, like, because when I started working with Jack, I was like, I want to look into hashtag a little bit because I didn't really know who they were.
Of course.
And then the first thing that come up on YouTube was this firework incident, and I was like, whoa,
The
someone
most
letting
wa-
off fireworks at the players.
Yeah,
like.
probably one of the most watched hashtag things ever, and it was
Yeah.
with the Rezzies with a firework over a
reserves
fence.
Very funny.
I'll guarantee someone. I don't know who it would be, but someone in hashtag, someone in their media team, or anyone like that would have gone, why didn't that happen in the fucking first team game, man? Why
Just
you know what I mean? I can see why. Obviously, the same outcome, no one gets hurt, but I think someone would go,
I
"Ooh,
want a bit first team
why
in
would
that.
that not be on a Saturday?
Wasted on the Rezzies.
Yeah, 100%. Matt's
Friday
going
nights.
on Sky Sports and BBC News and
He
all this
loved
stuff.
it.
Mate,
Yeah.
he was lapping it up. He's telling me in
Yeah.
the change rooms, he's going, yeah, I got out of class today and because he's only 16. He's like, he's proper young still, and he's like, got out of class today. I've just done an interview with the BBC and just went
About
home
how I
after
got hit by a firework.
that. Hit by a
Wow.
firework in a random, like not
Some
random
mad
night, but
publicity, like.
you know what? No publicity is bad publicity, really.
Yeah.
Anything to get his name, mate. He was loving it, and now on his Instagram, he's got loads of followers and bloody straight away putting.
Literally skyrocketed him straight up.
Yeah,
like.
100%.
He's
Yeah.
the pun.
Oh,
He's
it's
an idiot,
brilliant.
isn't he? He's a lovely kid.
Oh, you know what? He is like one of the nicest. He don't get sarcasm. He was brilliant.
Oh,
Like,
he's honestly, isn't he great?
Oh,
Matas.
you know what?
16-year-old Lithuanian.
Yeah,
Plays for his national team.
Yeah, under 18s
Wow.
national team for.
What's he
Lithuania.
doing playing for hashtag reserves?
Mate? He
Mental.
will be a player.
Yeah.
The first game
Probably
ever.
1 or 2 years.
Yeah, oh mate,
straight to first
it'll
team.
kind of the same Ben Brooks situation.
Mhm.
It'll be
Yeah, it needs a bit of
relatively
beef.
similar. Yeah, it needs to get a bit bigger because even in the Rezzies games he gets pushed off a bit, and that's kind of more technical than physical when you're playing resi football.
My way, get him on a strength and conditioning program.
Yeah. Oh, he can afford it now. He's on the BBC and Sky Sports. Exactly, he can afford that stuff, man. But yeah, so what I wanted to talk about as well, you said about how you have a passion for basketball, NFL and everything. What brought that on? What was...
Mate,
when did it start? How did it start?
Mate, it started like when I was 11, 12. I just had some friends who went to Maryland in America, near Baltimore, and kind of came back and were like, oh, like we're really into this sport. Or like we're going to go Sports Direct and get like a Dunlop American football or something. Yeah. And I was like, oh, yeah, cool, whatever. And it was just at a time where it was like, oh, let's go out and like, let's go to the field or whatever.
Yeah, like playing out days. Yeah.
So like, then we just replaced the football with the American football.
Yeah.
And it was just levels, mate. Like we started like playing and we started getting good and we started understanding the game, and it is an unbelievable game. That's so cool. Unbelievable world. And mate, like I just fell in love with the NFL. Yeah. Bang, straight there. NFL fantasy, everything about that game is unbelievable. I cannot begin to articulate for people that don't understand it. Like, it's a chess game with the most supreme athletes. The situational happenings within the game, once you understand them, make everything so... It's kind of like people get bored by 5-day cricket, and Lord knows I'm not watching no 5-day cricket, but I know enough to understand that there's some real deep tactics and situational plays to be made over a 5-day sport. Similarly within the NFL, where there's so many stops and starts and so many, actions. Mate, honestly, great game. So that came from that, and then the basketball I was always kind of inside. I just started playing that in primary school. And loved
Everyone's
the game.
got a hard court at primary school,
Do you know what I mean?
school and all that.
Yeah, get a few buckets. But my secondary school was like a bit of a basketball academy in itself. Like,
oh, nice.
Yeah. It was great growing up in a school and in an area, by the way, Gravesend in Kent, which is weirdly really quite a basketball town.
Interesting.
It is, yeah. It's just past Dartford, and it's Dartford ain't, and to the other surrounding areas, nowhere near really are basketball centric. You go as far as like Bromley, and people aren't that basketball centric, but in Gravesend, for whatever reason, we've got a great court in Woodlands Park, and it's just heaving in the summer.
Is it?
Yeah.
Tunes are like blaring, like barbecues are on, people are getting crossed up, geezers are getting dunked on. Like it's a proper... Basketball does a great job, just by its nature of being able to bring a load of people together. Just doesn't happen with footy. You boys will not be going down to the park or whatever, and like, do you know what I mean, sorting out 5v5s with 20 man.
Basketball is like that, you're right.
It is like that. It's proper communal stuff, basketball, man. So yeah, it's been really good, like getting into that game and being a part and growing up in that game. Like, it's been good. I'm going to continue to.
No, amazing, brilliant, man. And you sort of, you touched on right at the end exactly what I wanted to talk about. What drove you to basketball, American football over football? Because like you said, most areas are so football focused. Some areas are rugby, but majority is football related.
Of course.
What drove, like you said, the sort of camaraderie, is bringing different people together?
Mate, I fell in love with the ego that they're allowed to show in basketball and American football, but that's at the pro level. But the ego in the sport is just next level, mate. Football. Football's very like censored, and it's all about like saying the right things, and our footballers have absolutely no personality because of that. And you're not allowed to be cocky, and if you bang a couple step overs, whack it through someone's legs, and everyone starts screaming, all the old school gaffers will be like, "Hey, stop that!" And we're sitting there thinking, "Are you dumb? Are you dumb?" I fell in love with the ego of basketball and American football.
Yeah, it's an American thing in general.
Yeah, I think so, and I like the bravado, and but it's the one-on-one nature of it. Like American football, very me versus you right now. And then the ball stops, and then you line up and you go again, me versus you. And it's constant. Whereas the other sport, like football, for example, doesn't necessarily have that. You'll get some centre mid battles over a game, but it's not very one-on-one, really.
With football, it's different, though. You're having a struggle down the left wing, you're trying to attack, you go, right, I'm switching wings because this fucking arsehole is doing my head.
There you go.
And then that's it. But
and you'll get the one-on-ones with a good classic winger fullback battle. But I'm getting that in American football all the time. Like your wings and your fullbacks in American football are going at each other all the time, and it's just it's just absolute ego, and I loved it, man. And so I started playing American football actually in the UK when I was 13.
Oh, brilliant!
And the same with basketball, yeah.
How'd that all go? Oh, sorry. No, how did that all go,
mate? Like, just went to a training session one day after playing in the park. We just got quite good in the park. I can't lie. Like, we got quite good, and then went there, and they were just a little bit like, "Whoa, who's this geezer?" Because a lot of people kind of come and they ain't touched nothing, and then you learn there. You learn there how to play effectively. Training every week. But we just been going at each other for like a whole summer or whatever. Even a bit more than that with the Dunlops. Mate, I'll never forget that ball. So wank, like, really bad. But here's what it is. Just did that, and then got into it, and playing games, and had GB trials. Like,
wow,
nice, man.
All of that stuff is incredible.
Level with it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, baller.
Yeah, I love that, honestly.
Baller.
Yeah, man. That's the confidence we want as well.
For sure.
I was going to ask you, like, so I met a guy, one of my mates at a bar, and he was playing American football.
Nice.
And he was saying he had concussions left, right, and centre. Like, it is brutal. Like, it is proper. It's a head banging sport. Like,
sometimes, man, and the head-to-head contact isn't actually allowed on that end, so they try and minimalise it. But if you get banged like that. Just get off the sideline, man. Just have one of the coaches like shake your head around. Like, you all right? Yeah.
I think I'm all right.
Yeah. I think I'm all right. I've got to say, I haven't. Thankfully, I haven't had a concussion myself, but I know some boys that have had like 3 or 4 or whatever, and it's like,
does it depend?
How many times are we going to do that? It does.
Yeah.
Other positions get banged a lot more than I ever did. Like,
what's your position?
I was a wide receiver and I was a quarterback.
Okay.
For different times. So whilst I was a QB, obviously I wasn't really getting lit up too much. Like, I've got geezers protecting me.
Yeah.
And then when I was a wide receiver, I was a bit of a flair man. Catch the ball, come out of bounds, don't get hit. It's fine, not a problem. But no, wasn't trying to get hit. Sometimes I wouldn't even wear a gum shield. I just thought they looked butters.
Come out with no
out your lip.
Then who's butters? That's it, man. Yeah, you're saying you've got concussions and that.
Yeah, well,
heavy.
Yeah, he was telling me like he'd just come out of a concussion and he had a night out, and it was like, I don't know what position he was in. Literally, he was like, I had a concussion, I've just got better, and he was like down in shots.
Geezer.
Proper geezer.
Yeah,
it was like, what the hell, man? Because he was telling me like, I love it so much, I'd never stop, but this is like my 6th concussion.
Jesus Christ.
I was like, your brain,
when the fun stops, stop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Geezer. Yeah. Maybe tell him to reconsider.
I think he needs to go get his head checked, not for a concussion.
Yeah, just to see what the crack is.
He done that typical thing that all kind of sports people do, where they're like, if I'm just so good, they need me. They need me, man. Even if you
like, geezer, you pay £250 subs a season. Like,
exactly. Yeah,
they just need you to like pay subs.
Pay your subs and go, and they don't give a shit.
No. That's all you need to do, mate.
Oh, mate.
That's it. Yeah. So the British American football community and all of that, like. That's it. Another branch. Many branches.
I was going to say, because when you said in the beginning, a man of many worlds, you're not lying, are you?
No, mate.
Literally dip your toe into every single paddling ball you can find, innit?
Certainly. And, as many cultures as I can.
Yeah.
Travelled, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
Where have you
Try and do my stuff. Mate, everywhere.
Love that.
No, I've done a lot, man. Especially when I was at the FA. I spunked all my money at the FA. I was just a 19-year-old on like 24k. And I just saved absolutely none of it. I went on like 18 holidays in like 15 months to my account.
But that's what you do when you're young, though, innit? You live your life when you're young.
Yeah, man.
And then
bang in.
Then you eventually
could have done with some. I could have done with some savings. So
Now I'm skint, but what can you do?
No, it's just like, but Morocco 2018 was good though, wasn't it? You can't eat these pictures though.
I was going to say, there's some change for a few pictures, haven't I?
So selling NFTs of me on holiday. Make some dough. Yeah, mate. For sure. Man of many worlds.
Yeah, exactly that, mate. Exactly. But so obviously with everything you're doing with the hashtag that you've just finished, and now you're obviously trying to branch out into obviously commentating still, I'm assuming. What gives you that confidence? Because this is the point I was trying to make earlier before we went off on a massive tangent, bloody always. You just got such a bravado about you, where it's just infectious to laugh because you're just giving off such a good like confidence, a good like atmosphere around you. What do you reckon is the cause of that? What makes
Just
that
a
come
geezer,
forward?
innit?
Yeah,
Geezer. You know what I mean? It's just wake up first thing. Just live the day of a life with geezer.
Yeah, but that's exactly it. Like even now, like we had Iola on last week, and brilliant podcast. Like really interesting to hear about everything.
He's a cool cucumber.
Oh, he is literally
a very solid guy.
Yeah, he really is.
Yeah,
but
he is.
it's,
Nice boy.
Yeah, brilliant. Honestly, but the atmosphere is different. The second you walked in today, it was just laughs, jokes, banter. Like
Trust
20.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I've always been on that, and just from early, I think, to be honest, my mum was just chucking me into like every club or whatever, and like everything. She was just chucking me in because she was working as a single mum, so obviously she didn't want man on her hands.
Yeah.
So obviously I had to get in the mixer. See what the crack is. And then
do you reckon that helped then? Is that the reason for why?
Bro. You know, I'm already, I grew up already. I already grew up a foreign kid in England in a very like multicultural area.
Yeah.
So, English was my first language, and never had any problems with that. I was already from another culture, so I could immediately relate to other people that in England and also from other cultures. But I also, was brought up in England, so I effectively got to chat to almost, do you know what I mean? I got to cover a lot of boxes early.
Yeah.
In my own steed, it wasn't my mum like taking me to meet these people. I was effectively going and like getting in the mix of myself and meeting them, whether it be I was kickboxing early, I did that for like 10 years, or whether I was in scouts for like 10 years, or I was part of every sports team, or I was doing this and that, and I was with the Pokemon nerds. And, and so, I was kind of just putting myself about. I never went Yu-Gi-Oh! I was Pokemon and Digimon,
I like Digimon too. I like Pokemon
I always looked at Yu-Gi-Oh! A bit jealously, I was like, damn, wish I jumped on that. Do you know
too
what I mean?
late at that point. It's too
yeah,
late.
it's too late. I know. Blue Eyes White Dragon and that.
Yeah,
like,
man. Yeah,
I wanted to get in. I really wanted to get in on that actually, but I feel like I just missed it. I just picked the Pokemon and I was like, I'm gonna devote myself. I'm gonna devote myself to the Hoto region.
Because if you're gonna be good at something, you got to do that thing, right?
I was committed to being a Pokemon trainer, man. I really was. Yeah. So the confidence comes from that, But you look at the background, single parent type beat, and that forces you to spend a lot of time on your ones, be very comfy on my own.
Yeah.
So
enjoying your own company, kind of.
Very
thing.
much so.
A lot of people find that as a struggle.
Well, they do.
A lot of people.
I kind of feel like it's the ones that spend hella time around their siblings.
You reckon?
Early doors, yeah, maybe. It's just they've always got someone cool around or someone like the same age or whatever.
Yeah.
I've never had that. So. But that's obviously a point in itself.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was,
So you're only child?
Yeah, only child.
Same here. Well,
there you go.
My sister was way older than me, so we didn't grow up together.
There you go.
Yeah,
exactly. So you had to navigate it.
Exactly. Yeah, I was on my own most of the time.
That's it, isn't it? You end up just kind of you're being there, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's quite funny you both say it, because you're both proper chill people, like happy, energetic people and everything. Like,
yeah, man.
Don't really strike me as people who would ever be a half, like, glass full, like, empty kind of person.
Yeah.
But that might be where
we made our own fun.
Yeah, well, that's
make your own fun.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm the complete opposite. I've 1 of 5, and my sister's 4. Yeah, mate, it's mental.
Must have been a busy house, man.
Oh, mate, it was horrible.
Always
maybe that's why I'm so depressed.
Bro, I'm serious though. Like, but this, it's such a big part of everyone. And, people talk to each other, and there's things going on in the world constantly, and people are having disagreements, and, people are chucked in groups for whatever reason, whether it be work or this and that, and not realizing that everyone's really coming up very different.
Oh, mate, massively.
The man hours in, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
From 4 years old to 17, being an only child, versus, it's just everyone, you're all coming up very differently.
Massively, man, massively.
Mental.
Like, I've come across loads of people that are I wouldn't say set in their ways because they weren't old, obviously, but growing up, I know people from like down south who didn't really have a multicultural atmosphere around them. It was very much just kind of like an older,
Like south, like Cornwall south, or
more like Brighton kind of way.
okay, yeah,
So
straight
more,
south, yeah.
but well, to be fair, Brighton's very multicultural because of the college. But
yeah.
he grew up in a little town and everything like that, and he was kind of set back in his ways a little bit. And even with that, it's a bit of an eye opener of, wow, this is how some people grow up, and
yeah,
like,
of course,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
There you go, bang. So you get to uni or whatever, and I never went to uni, of course, but you go to uni, and
Same
suddenly
here,
you've
man.
got international
Every
student.
Every country's around
Yeah.
you with
International
every background.
student paired up with Bobby, who's never
Yeah.
really left the town.
Yeah,
Exactly,
yeah.
and you know what?
And
That is
as a
exactly what I was
shot,
about
yeah.
to say.
But all
That's
I want to
meant-
do is just like fly on the wall in on these conversations, and I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure I know how they go, but it's still interesting to watch.
Yeah, it is. To be fair, like I said, I was in the atmosphere when he was telling me about it. He went, first time he ever saw someone from a different country was when he went off to college and university. He'd never seen it before because
Wow.
in his little town, they were like 20 years behind. They didn't really have like, everything was
Yeah.
brick. Even like, when you go to like a bank and it's like, you can tell it was an old like
building.
brick, old brickwork building that he just slapped a logo on and gone, that's a bank now. It was kind of
Wow,
like that with
yeah.
every shop where he went. And
Okay.
it was
That's-
proper.
yeah.
It was a proper little
One of them
quiet
English
rural.
ones.
Yeah,
yeah.
a proper rural little town.
Those little thatched houses. Yeah.
Exactly, the ones where you have to sort of, well, not me because I'm.
Like cottages, you have to bend down to get in.
Yeah, I was about to
like,
say
yeah.
bend down to get into the doors and stuff, but yeah, not me.
I love those
Oh,
doors
wish.
because I walk straight in.
No
There's
problems.
No ducking, man.
No problems, George.
Straight in.
Oh man, but no, it's crazy. But I think football does it to an extent. It does bring people in, but English football's a lot more focus on you get together with your mates because it's 11 people. You normally have 2, 3, 4 mates, and there's cliques, and this was a problem that they spoke about in like the early doors of Rooney, Lampard, Gerrard all playing for England together, where it was kind of little cliques like that, where they had Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea all off on their own little groups and shit, and no one ever sort of interacted. Whereas now, it's so much better because everyone chat. Like you'll hear like Jack Grealish with his proper like, was it Brummie accent kind of thing, and he's talking to like Saka, who's a proper like
London boy.
Yeah, London boy, and it's brilliant.
Bro, it's because of St George's Park, man, and like they put that whole facility together a good 10 years ago, and they had a plan for it. They basically went, okay, the Germans and the Spanish have got a national headquarter. The Germans especially just did a Mazza, and so like obviously they wanted to do that. And they did. And so, England went from having training camps and stuff for their age groups at various different clubs, like at Middlesbrough or whatever, to now everything at St George's Park. Another good part of being at the FA was I was at St George's Park all the time. Yeah, doing different work.
Do you get meet anyone, or did you get meet?
Yeah, all the time, man. You're just walking around and like the players are just in their comfort zone, man.
That's nice, man.
I'd just find myself like chilling on a sofa, and more time I wouldn't really be speaking or nothing because I don't really know these guys. But I'd kind of just be there, kind of, kind of in a situation like now where, do you know what I mean? My boy James will just be chatting to like Butland or whatever about his marriage and
that is nuts.
God knows whoever.
Just opening up to like, that's mad.
Mate, there was a time I remember I was at training and Jack Butland and Jordan Pickford were the keepers.
Mate,
and
dude to be there.
They were fighting for the spot. They were fighting for the number 1 shirt, and they hated each other.
No way.
They were complete clashes of personality. Butland is
he seems
well
reserved.
put together.
Yeah.
Goes about his work. Good professional. You know the vibes. He just got engaged as well in Italy, which he was complaining about at the time because the paparazzi followed him.
Okay.
He thought he nailed it. Like, there's no way they're going to fire me here. Bastards found him.
It takes one person to catch it. And that's
that was what that conversation on the sofa was about. But and then Pickford's like Sunderland boy, like Mackham, like snuck off to get a McDonald's, get the rave on, like
on his boots
Northern
and all
boy.
that,
I'm telling you, I've got Northern boys. Like these boys are different. They are different. When it comes to getting on it, the sesh, this lot are just different. Pickford's like cut from the same
shots
cloth.
of Zambuca instead of pints of Zambuca instead of
Exactly.
pints of fucking beer.
They will be out like trying to get themselves absolutely written off. And they'll
get up the next day. And
they'll
carry
go
on.
till 8 a.m. and get a pint in the next day.
And they'll go work the next day at 8:30 and act like nothing's happened. Like, honestly,
they're hard up north.
They are.
They're a different breed up there.
They are. They're right. So that was the dynamic. That was more insight. Do you know what I mean? That I got, and like I remember Butland was giving an interview and like Pickford was kind of just like looking at him like, look at this tosser. You know, he must have been given some professional answers or whatever.
Yeah.
And then Pickford just like turns around looks at us and was just like, hasn't got a pinger like this still, has he? Bang. Pings it. Do you know what I mean? Just absolute zinger.
Yeah, but you could only act like that if you've got the talent to back it up.
Yeah.
And I think he has got
Pickford's ping is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But yeah, I got to spend time at SGP, man, and I got to spend time, you know, within the backroom staff at the various different levels. I got to spend time with the younger players, like the Jadon Sancho Foden team. I was in and around the classroom at points for that, and the year group after that with Harvey Elliott and like all of them.
Man.
Yeah,
what were they like? Did you get an atmosphere of what? They were
just
like?
they were just younguns, like they were just 16-year-olds, and a lot of the ballers
Every day
at that age. They're kind of similar, man. They're just 16-year-olds.
Yeah, just trying to
just
not even realising what's going on.
So.
Really,
It's like Iola was saying. You know, he was just a kid and just living the life basically.
He was just living the life.
You don't even realise it.
Just living the life, and 100%. Then Iola, you know, will get thrown into the men's world real quick. So they need to learn to enjoy it. The young 16-year-old ballers.
100%.
You know what I mean?
It's different. It's a different world when you're going from academy football, scholar football to men. Yeah, it's different worlds.
There's no like
night and day.
They're nice to you in the academy. They're like, oh, he's young and like this and that. Yeah. Like, there's none of that. You're just playing. You're playing against like 32-year-olds or two kids.
Yeah, if they put you up, they're expecting you to play the position. They're not expecting you to play your abilities. They want you to play what they're asking you to play. They put you in the team because of certain reasons, and you need to play for that. That's the atmosphere when you're going into like a men's first team. Like, just you've seen it, I'm pretty sure with everything as well. I mean, I was like when I was with AFC Wimbledon for like 3 months there. You see, like we trained for 2 weeks, kind of alongside where the first team, not next to it. It was kind of weird, on the same area, but you don't really see them when you're training. Yeah. But you'd walk past them, and it was genuinely just like an ordinary day. But then you'd walk past them training, like they were just regular geezers. Like they were making jokes, and when I say jokes, I mean like regular stuff you probably see on a building site, like jokes that you're like, oh my god, bloody hell, you minger, what are you on about? And then, but you would walk past their training ground, and it is just like it's what you would expect, like a Rottweiler if he saw red. Yeah, just, they are focused on what they're doing, and nothing else matters. And we're all watching them like going, bloody hell, that's what we got to be, and everything like that. Yeah. And
you know, you got to be built like that sometimes, man.
Yeah.
Like
you got to have that
to be able to switch on and just turn into an animal.
Yeah, is
something.
It is something. How people find that, because that's what I struggled with. I struggled to find that switch in me, and trying to deal with like getting into that game mode. My kind of thing was just chatting to people. So as I was playing, I would talk to people staying in the game, because if I didn't, I'll switch off, and because I don't have that
it's
switching.
Attention span, isn't it?
Yeah,
ADD.
What's it? Attention deficit disorder.
ODD.
ADD. Something
ADD.
like that. But I'm definitely somewhere in that.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
Yeah, it's mental.
You know, I'm playing local league basketball at the moment, just for the team that I've always played for, really.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it's effectively Sunday league, but basketball on a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You've got like a few like friends and family in the crowd, of like 20 people, whatever. Play some fucking, do you know what I mean? Some heated games.
Yeah.
But mate, boy, these games get heated.
Yeah,
like,
man.
My lot like to chirp a little bit. Like, teams will obviously come into the den, try giving it.
Yeah.
What I mentioned earlier about the bravado and the one-on-one nature of it, it's most prevalent in basketball.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I spent all of Tuesday night attached to the hip of this Spanish guy, and he was just giving us buckets, mate.
Yeah.
He was just he was just such a problem.
Yeah.
And so, point of that is, it would just be it's just a normal Tuesday, boys. I'm just going about my normal day, and then to win these games, because we're not winning them by 20 every game. Like, we're having to fight. We're not having that great season, so we're having to fight every night for a result. So I got to sit there doing my normal-ish during the day and think, if I want to win tonight, I have to like get geared. I have to psych myself up here.
Yeah.
For effectively what is a scrap. Like, you know, there is
fighting tonight.
Because if we don't go in there and effectively start scrapping and start, do you know what I mean, really throwing our weight about.
Yeah.
Then just gonna get pasted.
Yeah.
And so the switch is hard to find. Is the point of all of that.
That's it. Yeah.
Most aggressive team wins, exactly, man. Yeah.
Because when you're at the same level and you're playing at like just like you say Sunday
This
league
level, yeah.
all it is just who wants it more.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
I just can't be asked to lose.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
think
there you go.
the sport where you can see the switch getting people most is boxing. Like
Wow, that one's mental.
Oh mate,
Yeah,
did you
man.
see the fight over the weekend?
I did.
What did you think of the fight?
Yeah, it was decent.
Kell Brooks.
Yeah, Amir Khan.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you know what? I just think
slaughtered
Khan,
him.
man, like I haven't seen him in a good fight for a long
Yeah,
time.
since
you know?
2017
brutal,
is
though. It's
for-
so brutal because
Yeah.
I think what I got from that was he wanted it so bad. The passion was at that. The heart of a flipping lion was in his chest,
Yeah.
but his body didn't want to do what he was telling
No
it to do.
way.
He wanted to swing the way he used to swing, and he just couldn't. He wanted to
The
bob
boxing
and
community
weave, and he
has,
couldn't.
has a soft spot for Khan.
Yeah,
The
Yeah,
hands
he's a
that he was
personality.
showing
I
Yeah.
think it's due.
early.
Yeah.
Like everyone
Yeah.
was like, "Oh my
Exactly
god, this guy is gonna give Pacquiao a run.
yeah,
This
yeah.
guy's gonna give Mayweather a run."
and
Like
then
the
he had a
hand and the
greenhouse for a
hands
head.
still are unreal. He just has
Yeah.
not got a chin. So like,
Yeah.
That's the thing. He's been knocked out so many times that like it didn't really surprise me.
You know what?
You know,
Funny you're saying that actually, because I was sitting with a few pals when I was watching it, and one of them was like, "You know, when you watch the top 50 knockouts, why do I see Khan at like 10 of
Comes in
them?"
about 10 of them. Yeah.
You're
it's
like,
brutal, like-
actually, yeah.
that's
well, when he fought
problematic.
Canelo, that's probably
Yeah.
Cannelo's like, most.
That's his highlight reel.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
his highlight reel.
Everyone's
and he's
highlight
on
reel
the
has got
floor
Khan
like
in it, like-
absolutely gone, and you're like,
just
and not
long
even
in
like,
it.
eyes in the back of his head, like almost tongue rolled out of his face,
Yeah.
and he's like, "You
When
might
he
have to go to
gets
hospital."
caught, he gets caught. And if he gets caught against a big puncher, he ain't getting back up.
I
at all.
thought Kell Brook was a very good puncher that night,
Yeah.
but he did not go down. I was so
Yeah, you know what?
surprised.
I don't see Kell Brook as a knockout man.
I don't
He's
see-
a
nah.
TKO man.
Yeah,
Because
I
he'll
agree.
put flurries together,
Yeah,
but he ain't got that one bang that like Canelo's got.
100%. No, I agree
He's a
with you.
good boxer.
He's a
Kell Brook.
oh mate, he's a fantastic boxer. And that would be nice for is it Conor Ben
Yeah.
for his next
Yeah,
fight? That would
yeah.
be a good fight.
Yeah, man.
I think-
I'm excited to see Conor
That'd be
Ben in a
very
big
good.
fight.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he needs a right. Funny enough, again, I was talking about this with mates the other night. He's not really had the platforms. Really, he hasn't had the big fights like you just said.
Not yet.
Because he might not have the right team behind him to get him them big
I
fights.
don't know if it's the
interesting.
team. I
No?
think it's they're building him up real slow.
Yeah.
You reckon?
Also, he had a bit of
Maybe.
time off, I think, as well.
Yeah,
So
he did. Yeah.
He's just coming up the ranks slowly, and they want him to be at his best when he has these big fights. That's what because he's with Tony Sims at Matchroom, and that's
Yeah.
a good team.
It's
like,
yeah.
It's
I
a
was
good
meaning
point.
more like agent wise, like when you're. He's with Matchroom, did you say?
I think so.
That's
Like,
that's
I mean,
what Eddie Hearn owns, isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, I might be wrong. Can you imagine if I'm wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he is. Yeah, but I know he's definitely training under Tony Sims. He was
Yeah.
sparring with the likes of Ted Cheeseman. He's just a warrior. Ted
Yeah.
Cheeseman. Like, I remember being in the amateurs and watching Ted Cheeseman on some of the same shows as me,
Oh really?
and he was just winning everything, just an
Brutal.
absolute animal.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
That
He
is
beat my
class.
sparring partner. So my sparring partner was a good couple of kilos heavier than me at the time.
Yeah.
He beat him. And to be fair, my sparring partner gave him a good run for his money, but Ted was he's just a different
Different
breed.
league. Yeah, I was
know,
about
like,
to say you can
and
tell.
to see him in the pros, like, and the thing about Ted as well, he was getting beat and winning a bit against the same boys. So it was always like these top 3 or 4 boys always going against each other
Yeah.
and beating each other 3 or 4 times each.
Oh really? So
and
it's
that's
literally
kind
like
of-
a trade off.
And that's what he's doing in the pros now.
Oh.
Like,
okay.
he's-
Some trade-offs.
Yeah, just having these really, really tough fights with people who are pretty much the same level as him, and just he's either
win or
winning or
lose.
losing,
There
winning or
you
losing. Like his last 4 fights, I don't know when his last fight was, but the last fight I watched, he lost 3 and won 1. But he is a top boxer, and he's up there with the likes of Ben.
Oh,
and
really?
sparring with him.
Bloody
Yeah.
hell, man! That's a big statement to put on someone as well, because he kind of been the. I'm hoping it's the Kell Brook. It ain't been announced yet. Well, as far as I know. Well, upon us putting this out, it hasn't been announced yet, but or recording anyway. But that'll be an interesting fight to go ahead. But going back to it, that switch, like I was watching the, obviously the face off and everything that they was doing, and you get like a sense of like normal personality coming through. Amir Khan was very like
No.
mugging him off a little bit, like a very like almost like a cat playing with a mouse kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because Kell Brook ain't got the lip on him the same way he did.
Yeah. He's just very aggressive.
Yeah.
he's just Kell Brook.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Khan's got a little bit of something. They've had something going on since they were kids.
Yeah.
They've had a rivalry all through the amateurs, all through the pros, and to have this fight for them, it's like however old they are, like 25 years long.
Do you reckon it carried on though? Because I'm as much as like I get it, like that was such, and it was a big thing. They hated each other back then. Like when it was supposed to go ahead and it didn't, unfortunately. Do you reckon that either fizzled out or just built? Like obviously you being in that world.
Had a mutual hate for each other for such a long time, and they've been talking about this fight for. It's kind of like Mayweather and Pacquiao. You know, it went on for like 5 years.
Yeah,
That's was kind of the British version of that.
Yeah,
it's like Brook versus Khan was always spoken about.
Yeah,
and I feel like it would have been nicer again with Mayweather and Pacquiao. It would have been nicer for both of these fights for them to happen earlier.
Yeah, when they're both in their prime.
When they long it out, people pay more money to see it, and there's more people to fight and. It is what it is.
Yeah, annoying, and that's the annoying part of it is, I think Kell Brook was more in his prime than Amir Khan. I think that was literally
Kell Brook looked shredded.
Oh mate, you know what? I think his camp that he had must have been perfect. He was so technically defensive. Like I'm not a boxing. Don't get me wrong. I love boxing. I'm just not a fanatic. I don't know the backgrounds, the in and outs of it behind the scenes. I don't know how they agree contracts. I don't know how they split the money. I just love watching it and trying to pick it up as I'm going along. But my God, the first thing I noticed was Kell Brook's head movement was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, Khan's throwing for a while he was throwing the same combination. I think it was a 1-2-1, literally back and forth, but just trying to go for his head.
It's very calm.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like straight punch focus and everything. But his head movement, it was just so fluid, and encountering on them, it's brilliant. Honestly, if you haven't seen the fight, go and watch the fight because it was
loads of nice shots in there.
And even to appreciate from like a defensive standpoint, because I think, don't get me wrong, let me know what's his name. What's the fighter's name? 50-0. Mayweather. Oh, one of the most famous names in the flipping boxing world, and I can't remember it. But he isn't on many highlight reels in like obviously knockouts and everything because he wasn't a heavy hitter. He wasn't really anything like that. It was more of his defense was so good, and until you sort of go, let's not worry about knockouts and stuff. Until you just go, let's just try and appreciate and take the time out to just watch it. It's like magic seeing them. They're like 10 steps ahead. When you see someone properly defend
like
someone,
Matrix,
it's brilliant. You're just like, they knew that was coming, and then they knew you was going to do that after, and then they knew you was going to do that. So then they done this, and now you're on the floor.
That's ring experience though as well, because when you're in with so many, you've had so many rounds in you. You've experienced so many different combinations being thrown at you. You start to pick up on it as long as you don't take too many, and then you get a bit punchy. But you start to see how to fight envelopes in front of you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But yeah, anyway, getting back onto having you on. But yeah, so what advice would you have for anyone wanting to pursue this? Because I think this is a very niche industry for someone young. We've spoken about it previous in our many car journeys home. You don't get very many young commentators anymore. Like very few and far between. You still have the old commentators on Sky Sports, and it's might be the reason for certain sports not getting the notability that they need at the moment. It's because it doesn't appeal to a younger crowd, maybe. Because I think that's why football does so well, is because dads watch it with their sons, just parents watch it with their kids. But something new coming over to the UK, like NFL, and obviously any basketball, for example, baseball might be something that's a little bit for a while to come over to the UK, because if we can't sit through cricket, I don't think we'll sit through baseball. But what would you give bits of advice for someone who's starting off doing stuff like that?
Man, I just think it's really, really simple if you want to just blast yourself onto the scene. Dead ass. Obviously, you need a little bit of dough to do do you know what I mean? To get stuff done.
Yeah.
But realistically, even on a budget, you can, if you want, really break down the doors and just burst onto the scene.
Yeah.
And now I haven't even really necessarily done that.
Yeah.
So it's there to do. whatever your niche is, really. Like, and you kind of, you know, for anyone that feels like they've got the gift, do you know what I mean? The gift of the gab or whatever.
Yeah.
You just got to go for it. But the industry's tough. And you're going to get knocked down so many times, bro.
Yeah.
Ignored emails, meetings that you've gone up to the city for that will get cancelled last minute. You don't hear from the company again for X amount of time.
Yeah.
The NFL, the big NFL.
Yeah.
I had a meeting scheduled like 3 years ago to go and meet the head of content there, Jamie King,
Right.
who I'd interviewed with to be a social media manager whilst I was at the FA.
Yeah.
He was the social media guy for the NFL. I was a social media guy for Wembley. We'd effectively be kind of like cross-company colleagues,
Yeah.
you know, for the NFL International Series type of games. So,
Yeah.
you know, this is a guy that realistically, do you know what I mean, should have my respect professionally.
Yeah.
You know, when it came down to, you know, oh, I should be on the NFL UK channels. I should be, you know what I mean, I should be presenting. I should be doing this and that.
Yeah.
You know, have a meeting with them. And then it will just get cancelled on the day or whatever. And it's just like, what? Why?
Yeah. Why?
What's going on here then? And then you don't hear from ages. And then I got in contact with them again, first time after X amount of years.
Yeah.
Maybe like 3 months ago or whatever. And then slowly, like, had another call today. But just like trying to break down these doors, they just keep putting the locks on them, mate.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. It must be
it's
tough.
a proper persistence one. And you just got to keep going. But, you know, I'm a man that very much runs off vibes. And that's a bad thing, really. You know, I think...
Not if you're bringing the vibes, because if you're the one who's sort of making the atmosphere into
potentially
something good, then...
It just speaks more to the preparation is actually really needed, you know?
Yeah.
So that's actually the advice, is to, you know, anything that you're trying to do is to really study for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've got to study for it. Like, it's just like anything. Any sports team that wants to win on the weekend, they study.
100%.
10,000 hour rule, isn't it?
The 10,000 hour rule.
Yeah.
There you
true.
go. Precisely. Get those 10,000 hours in, you're an expert.
Yeah. Well, that's you know what? Funny enough, I actually watched something on this the other day about the 10,000 hour rule, putting in the hours, the man time and everything like that, the man hours and everything. Sorry, but doing it effectively. So obviously having to study sort of what you don't know. So instead of just going down to the basketball court, for example, hitting free throws, instead of just doing it constantly, like for them 10,000 hours, for example.
Of course, you could do that. I guess.
Yeah, you record yourself, you nitpick, you see what you're doing wrong, you then do research on how the best of the best hit free throws consistently and why they do it and what they do to hit them free throws consistently and everything.
That's the difference, isn't it?
That's the difference, and I think that's what I didn't get told when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the information that was missed off. And instead of, because you would find me throughout my whole secondary school, after school,
putting the hours in,
just standing goal and people take a shot at me. And I think that's why I developed quite an athletic keeper instead of a quite commanding keeper or a consistent keeper. I was a very athletic keeper, for example. And I think it's not misinformation. I just think it was the right information with things missed off. So the little fluffy stuff around the edges that people don't really pay attention to, I missed them off. And I think that was a difference between me possibly making something out of it and me not making something out of it, basically.
Yeah.
So putting in them hours and then realising where you're going wrong. I think that's something that's difficult for people to understand, is if it does go wrong, which it will go wrong all the time, is exactly how you are. How do you stay persistent? How do you stay happy doing it? Why do you stay? That's a big question, is why are you staying happy doing it? Is it because you love it? Is it because it's all you know? Like, you need to ask yourself these questions. And I think that ability to smile after being told no and having that horrible meeting or not having the meeting that you wanted, that's the difference between doing something with it and not.
It's just a tough industry overall, this one, you know what I mean, that I frequent. But, you know, I just, in my case, just driven and focused, and I just know, you know, I've been out there, You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not one of these YouTubers or whatever that like broke onto the scene since 18 and has been doing that really since.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I've been a geezer on these roads.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I've been out there. Like people know me.
Yeah, yeah.
They know what I'm about, and they've seen me tie rooms together, and they've seen me out there socializing, and do you know what I mean? Like
they know
going
who
from
you
circles
are.
to circles, and like really understanding. In this field, like if you can bring the people together, you've got it. Like you'll go. It's gonna happen. Like I said, in my case, I'm driven on it, and I'm just confident in the ability.
100%.
I've been out there, I've done so many different things and been in so many different cultures, and I just kind of objectively look at it, and I just think there isn't really anyone like myself.
That's it. Having that confidence in yourself is so important.
Just seeing what's going on out there, and I look at it, and just in my field, there just isn't anyone like it.
No.
No.
We've spoken about this plenty of times of boring old commentators and boring old just people who are just on the scene who are there because that's all the industry knows.
Yeah,
the industry is sort of mirrored off of these people that are already there and who's done it.
That sense of nostalgia with it, like they always want the same.
Yeah, it's almost like when you listen to an old recording from like the 1970s, 60s and everything, you hear that nasally kind of voice,
what a goal, Gordon Banks.
What to say, and all that stuff. That nostalgia that people love, but it's hard to get that back.
Yeah.
No one really has it anymore. I think it's time for something new to be coming in, kind of like yourself, really, if I'm being completely honest. Something that will draw a new crowd in, because the crowds that we have already are focused on, like in England, it's just focused on football and rugby sometimes and cricket. Other than that, everyone goes to darts and snooker just for a laugh, like to have a bit of a drink. But what as well I'd love to see is the atmosphere at an NFL game, but with the English fans. But I want the English fans to be interested in the NFL.
Mate, it would be unreal.
Mate, because this is a thing. English fans are different. Don't get me wrong. Like football is exactly the same in every single country you go. It's a ball with two goals either end and a pitch in the middle. It doesn't really, obviously technical abilities and everything in between it and different ways of leagues played is different. But the crowds for football games
across the world,
mental. In Turkey, it's mental. Galatasaray playing Besiktas, fuck me, what a game that will be to go and see. That is flares being let off at every corner of the stadium.
Corinthians versus Sao Paulo will be mental.
Yeah, like big
Algerian football's mental.
Oh mate, they bloody 100%. 100%.
You want to know about my team, bro? Right, let me preface with Leicester recently had a fan come onto the pitch and punch a player, an opposing player, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Leicester fans are obviously like, oh man, this geezer's really giving us a bad look. Like he's been banned for whatever. Yeah. He's run onto the pitch and punched 3 players from the opposing side. I don't care, obviously, because I would have told you who the opposing side are, and I can't. But that you look at that and you think, oh, what a tarnish on our fan base.
Yeah.
Geezer, my team in Algeria, we're called JSK. Like, it's the team for the region. Like, it means a lot. Compare us to a little bit of a Liverpool if my people are Scousers. If that makes sense. Yeah, right? In Algeria, I'd say I'm a bit of a Scouser, basically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not Algerian, I'm Berber. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm not English, I'm Scouse.
Yeah.
Right. So there's the background on my club. Anyway, we're having a great season or whatever. Things get violent in Algerian football, bruv. Oh, bro, one of the fans has thrown something and killed our Cameroonian striker.
No way.
Top scorer.
Oh,
one of your fans done it to one of your players.
What did they
has thrown something. It might have been a rock. Mum's life. That was 7 years ago.
That's madness.
Yeah.
Mental.
That's
crazy.
Nuts.
Football fans.
That is football fans. Well, the thing is, like, the funny thing is with English fans, with football, is they take the piss out of everything. I think everything. And it's so brilliant because in England, you have to be really careful going to a football game. Police are there all the time, especially if you're a London derby, a derby game in general. Police are there all the time. You got to be really careful about what you're doing. Have you seen the video of a geezer throwing a paper plane from the top of the stadium and it hits a player?
Yeah.
And the fucking roar of the stadium of complete and utter, like, just taking the utter piss because it's a shit game is not like that's what I want to see.
That was a good day.
That's what I want to see.
That was an England game.
Yeah, I want to see complete, absolute, just like you see. Have you seen like Americans reading out English football chants?
Yeah,
and they're reading them out, and like there was John Joe Shelby. Obviously, I think he has alopecia or something like that. Like he's bald, but he's when West Ham played him, they started.
They were singing "He's coming for you,
yeah,
Lord Voldemort is coming for you."
Yeah, well, Harry Potter, wasn't it?
Harry Potter is coming for you.
And it's just absolute house shit. Like house fuckery is brilliant, and I would love to see that in
American
or just
they just need to know about it, because
it.
the great thing about the NFL crowds and the American crowds is that it's really great. It's like family orientated. You get some hot dogs and that, like, you know, it's fundamentally and truly, you know, it's great that the fans can effectively mix. You don't have to have like split down the middle.
That's what they have in rugby.
You don't have to have an exactly.
They have it in rugby.
But you know, the women can go there.
Yeah,
it's nice.
Yeah. That's what I
like
think
the
it'll be.
English crowd.
I like
us,
bro. You can't like.
That's why I think English American
misses to the
football would
game.
be brilliant. Is because English people wouldn't care about who won or lost because it's not their place. Like you know what I mean? The Miami Dolphins. No one lives in Miami. It don't really matter.
No one's gonna get mad.
No one really cares that much. So it will just be the shithouse where you get in football. Just that whole absolute piss taking
scene. It's just the banner, isn't it? Just the humour of it, that British humour.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't get it. Like,
no.
my girlfriend's Italian, and there's some English humour. Like, I'd love to sit down and watch Only Fools and Horses.
Oh, mate, brilliant.
But she just don't like. She's like, I don't think it's that. I get what you mean, but it's not that funny. Like,
yeah.
You know, and I'm sitting there cracking up.
Heritage.
Like, yeah, this is culture. Like.
This is heritage.
Oh, mate. Yeah, it's different worlds out there. Like, it is a big old change. But that's why I think it's so important to have someone who brings an atmosphere to a stadium, who brings an atmosphere to you watching it on TV, is to draw in that crowd, to get them people there, because at the moment it's not there. Like, even me, I love any sport, but I wouldn't go and pay to watch an NFL game at the moment because I don't understand it, and nothing's made me want to understand. You know what I mean? Nothing's made me draw to it, and I think there's a big industry for it in the UK if it takes off, obviously.
I hope so, man.
It'd be so funny to see that crossover, like you say. English fans watching an American game, taking the piss.
Yeah, just a few American, dotted throughout the whole stadium, them going,
you can't say that, that's mean.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
I've been at enough football games doing that.
100%.
Just giving it.
Yeah.
Will you tap that space because I'm sure that's not recorded. Yeah, it's all good. All right. Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Right. So we haven't done it on that Mac yet. So I'm kinda, usually I have the laptop. I'm always touching it just to make sure.
I've done reruns of this. I didn't do the setup beforehand, but I know that once it goes off into sleep mode, it's still running, so it's all right. But that was a worry. We had a bit of a scare last. Well, we had a ghost scare, shall we say?
Which turned into mucking up the whole recording.
Completely.
Was this Iola?
No, it was the one before
that,
Iola. Yeah. So, and this once episode 3, well, it would already be out before this one, obviously. Oh, flipping hell. But so Chelsea came in, who's my partner, and she was just sort of looking round, and we paused everything. She went, "You know, you're not recording." I went, "No."
It was on the video though.
So the audio was recording. The audio was fine. The video wasn't recording, apparently.
But it was.
But it didn't show it.
You know when you go on your iPhone, you click at the bottom left corner and you see the last thing you took a picture of?
Of course.
Well,
that wasn't
there. Like, when we went on that, it was like, hang on a minute.
Okay.
There's no recording.
Right,
but
fine.
A couple of weeks later, when I was cycling through my gallery, we found the first half of the recording that was recording that we thought wasn't.
So if you just left it?
Yeah, exactly. And
I ran round and everything and went, oh my God, it's not recording because there's no numbers there, no nothing. It wasn't flashing, nothing. It was completely
fuming.
Yeah,
I was
the second
like,
half of the
no.
podcast, just the audio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so that's now going to come out with a nice logo on the whole way through.
Yeah, you're just going to be able to hear us, and that's fine. It's a good
Yeah.
story, and we're talking about our love life. So.
Yeah, that one. I'm actually.
Oh,
quite,
nice. That is good.
Yeah.
I'm actually quite glad that video didn't come out. To be fair, because that was pretty cringy episode for me. To be honest, it was proper opening up.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Soft boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I try not to be.
I try not
I said that in the most flipping feminine way. That I try not to be. But, man, nice, good. But
That's hilarious.
But yeah, so that is pretty much it for the questions we've
For a
got
good
for you.
episode. There
Yeah.
you go, man. It's been a
been-
pleasure answering them.
It's
Yeah,
been
it's-
absolutely lovely having you on, honestly.
Honestly, yeah, good energy, man. Loving it.
Yeah.
Appreciate
We're
it,
gonna go
bro.
all the way, man.
We're gonna try, mate. We're gonna get there.
That's it. That's exactly what it is. Perseverance and good atmosphere. That's all you can ever ask for.
That's
That's
it,
it,
man.
mate.
That's what you got to take away from the pod.
Yeah. Good bants.
that,
That's
man.
it. That's all this one was
Yeah.
about, bants. That's it.
Just have a laugh, geez. Like the Russians are about to take Ukraine. It's all going
Mate,
tits
Well,
up.
tell you
Like
what, should we speak about that whilst we're on it?
Yeah. Honestly, that is
There's a war kicking off, and we
Yeah.
haven't spoke about it yet.
that's nuts, man.
yeah, it's all mad. That's
Have
all
you
I can
seen
say.
the
It's
video
just
that got
all mad.
posted today? So today
Seen
is
like all of
the 24th, and the video of the fighter jet going through. What's the city that it went through? Oh, I read about it today. I can't remember the city, the name that it went through. It's only a little tiny like rural area that it went through, but it's a actual recording off of someone's phone, and it's just showing this jet flying so close to the ground and just lets off 3 rockets
No
next to
fucking
these
way.
people's houses, and the
Seen a couple of
screams
weird
are.
videos.
No
Like,
way.
I've got a dark sense of humour, and even me, I went, "Whoa, that is scary as fuck."
Like, you're not going to laugh at
no,
that.
you can't. But you know what I
I'd be
mean?
worried if you started.
Yeah, just like absolutely reeling off some horrible one-liners. But no, I mean, I've got a stomach for bad shit, and I was like, that is so real. Like,
That's
it was
the bad
so
shit.
scary, man.
Yeah.
Like,
That's not good shit.
no, man, it's
Yeah.
terrifying. And
Nah, it's all mental, mate. This is what I mean. Like everything's going tits up all the time, bro. Like I just got.
there's no rest period, is there? There's
Got
no
to
rest.
do you, innit?
I just got to do me, bro. Like you lot got me fucked up.
I'm gonna stay in my lane. Like,
I'm just
what
gonna-
else can I do?
honestly.
Yeah. Otherwise, we'd all be like, people telling me, I couldn't sleep last night because of it.
Yeah.
It's like really cracked me up, and I'm not like that because I am so like, if I start focusing on the world's problems, then I am just gonna have a breakdown. So
Yeah.
I've got to stay in my lane. Like,
It's messed up, mate.
yeah.
Whole,
It is
whole
scary.
gaff.
Mm.
Tits up.
It is terrifying because the whole background of it is very political with the USSR and the pathway that Ukraine opens up for Russia if Ukraine joins NATO and they can't get through
Ugh.
Ukraine to get to other countries. It's
Long.
proper
It's
messed up.
so long, man.
There's so many twists and turns that go with it, and it's really, it is very political. Really, like you would have to proper like watch a documentary about why it's.
I want the Klitschko's to come through and start knocking heads about.
Oh mate,
I-
have you seen the video they put out as well? They put
I actually haven't.
they've put out a video today. Go and have a watch of it.
Yeah.
It's quite eye opening coming from people who fight for a living,
Yeah.
but it's very much like, look, this is wrong. This has been going on. It's very personal. It's very non-political. It's not about
Like a vendetta sort of thing.
yeah. It's very
Just guys, please leave us alone.
yeah. Basically, it's that.
Yeah.
It's like what this is over nothing really. It's over a statement that was made in 2008, which was Ukraine wanting to join NATO in the beginning.
Right.
It's been a long time coming. But yeah,
Mad.
at the moment it's something to definitely keep an eye on. But
Yeah.
Mate,
As-
hopefully by the time the pod comes out, it'll be.
It will be swept
It'll be-
under the carpet.
or there will be Russian subtitles under the podcast.
Yeah, and then we'll be, yeah.
Nostrovia to them, man.
Yeah.
But
like
yeah,
madness.
that is definitely something to have a look out for. And
Yeah, I didn't
And-
even know the war broke out. So my girlfriend messaged me saying the war's broke out because I don't look at news.
I
Like,
don't
people
blame
tell me all
You have
because I
panic
speak to a lot
attacks.
of people. People tell me all kinds of things, and I'm just like, I'll hear it from you
you. Yeah.
because if I start focusing on the world's problems, I can't focus on myself. I can't focus on doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And that sounds a bit like, oh, you're uninformed, but there are some things I'm just like, I don't want to hear it 24/7.
I'm just happy to be uninformed, man. You're just
Yeah.
telling me shit.
That
and,
is all.
and it's just like the major news outlets are controlled by God knows who. So it's just like, what am I really like? Why do I want to listen to what you're saying?
I
Yeah.
feel you.
You know, bro,
You-
like
you get your
you
own
could be
news from-
feeding me anything. Like
Exactly. And
you have the choice of like 10 stories, like 8 of them are about like black people like being killed or something, and you're feeding me the one about the young white kid who's eating too many pork pies at lunch.
Yeah, like 99% of the time, news is rubbish. But obviously, when a war breaks out, you want to know about it.
You do want to know what
yeah,
the
but
crack is.
there's right ways about getting the information.
It's
It's
crazy.
Yeah.
it's places where you can trust. I find YouTube to be a really helpful place. Is just looking at. I'm proper nerd when it comes to all this. I love knowing stuff, and I've done a 45-minute documentary of what happened beforehand, what's happening now, a completely unbiased thing.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, there's things that were said and agreements that were made with Ukraine and Russia, for example, and Ukraine's kind of gone back on what was said, but nothing was put in concrete, like written down. Basically, nothing was signed, and yeah, it's very mixed up. A lot of mixed up information, but at the end of the day, it's not Ukraine invading Russia. It's the other way around, and just getting the right information from the right places. That's the most important thing, because you turn on Sky News and it's just coronavirus, death, police brutality, horrible stuff, war. We're all fucked, basically, and
Like,
you
how
hate the
would you
repetition
lot
of it.
rather watch
Yeah.
this than SpongeBob SquarePants?
100%.
Like,
Like,
how
you learn
can
shit
you
from that.
actually like? What are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. I go around to my missus' parents. They have it on loop.
Of course they do. This. Do you know what I
Yeah,
was just
that's
about
the
to say?
problem
Old
with news.
people love it, bruv.
100%.
It loops round. You can hear it
100%.
all day long, and then you're just God knows what subliminal messaging of it.
Oh,
that's a bit
hella.
like- that's more of a. But I
No,
don't
but
know.
that's
for
that's
the-
true though.
That's
It could
for
be
the
true, it could
theories
not be true.
podcast.
Yeah, exactly. We'll do another one
we
on
need
that.
to do
Yeah.
something like that. I would love
Yeah,
that.
that's a bit
The
out there,
theories,
right?
but I've got so many. I would love
We
it.
could just sit there and get like out of our minds of it.
Oh mate, you just
Yeah.
need some brownies on the side and then just talk about that shit. Will be fine. But
Oh man, yeah,
if
it's
you've got
crazy.
Tango,
It is
don't worry
crazy. But yeah, I hate the way the news is just looped. You get the
Yeah.
same story or the same 5 stories, and it's just over and over. Sky News has a channel where it's the same 5 things for 24 hours. I'm like, what? And people have it on.
yeah, and people actually do that as a job.
I don't mind knowing about
Like,
it.
read
but
the
I don't
same-
wanna, you know.
Say the same words that will put on a teleprompter in front of them that the same mate he read 3 hours earlier. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like they,
No chance.
I'll take that job. You know what I
It's an
mean?
easy job, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm doing this. I might as well just read something that someone else wrote about 3 hours ago. It's fine. It's sweet.
You'd be like a robot.
Yeah, I know. But oh well. At the end of the day, just take it in your stride, and all we need is to have confidence like you, smile like you, and no one
Yeah.
can take
Just
it
have a
away
good
from you.
time
Just
for a
be
long
like
time,
Yanni,
mate.
exactly.
Just have a good time for a long time,
That's
man.
it.
Anything
That's
can
it.
happen in the mixer. It really can, day by day.
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
But yeah,
There
like-
you go, boys.
yeah, exactly. Sweet. That's a good way
Yeah.
to end it off on. And
Yeah, I like
yeah,
that.
thank you again for coming on.
For sure, man. It's
Honestly,
been a real pleasure. Good
Yeah.
chat,
If the
boys.
camera weren't even
Really
rolling,
nice.
I would have absolutely loved today. So
Nah, man, it's
class
decent.
as always. But yeah, and again, thank you
Yeah.
for coming over. And
Yeah, man.
yeah, we'll end it on that.
The
Brilliant,
boys.
Nice one.
Come on.